Hey, hi, Hari. Good morning.
Hey, Varun. Morning.
I'll just give 2 minutes more to let the other
Sure.
folks also join, and
Sounds
then I
good.
think we're good to start. Yeah.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay. I think we have start. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our today's session. Our today's session is a continuous of our yesterday discussion where we discussed about the value set. That was a part of which we studied and we configured also one of our value set. And now a next step which comes ahead of us is starting to configure the flex wheel, and then we'll see the lookups. So we are done with the value set part, but how we'll see how the linkage between the three terms occurs in Oracle Fusion: value set, flex wheel, lookups. Major reason of keeping them separate right now was that each of them has holds a very important place actually in configuration as well, because value set is a part, flex wheel will be allowing you to configure that same thing on multiple screen, and lookups are the same thing which we have currently in EBS as well, where we see manage lookups and identify what lookups can be used and how can they be used throughout the application. With that note, I'll just wanted to pull up a screen in front of you to have a note of what is flex field actually. So if you see by name itself, we know that we have an understanding of what is EFF, what is DFF. We have a understanding of this terminology in EBS also. But here, what flex field does it's like a placeholder field associated with the business object, and can be applied on multiple pages. So giving an example, suppose I'll take an example of agreement. We have screen for purchase agreement. Similarly, we have a screen for purchase order. So a client comes with a requirement that that color field or the value set which you have developed yesterday, I want to see it on both the fields, right? So in that case, Oracle needs to identify that how can it be possible to use the same value set, and what is the value and how it can be shown in the multiple screen. So to just give an example, let's see this. Yesterday we talked about color as one of the value set which we developed, having blue, black, and green. Correct. Now a client, say suppose XYZ, comes with an requirement that I want to see this field on purchase agreement page also. Oh, sorry, we'll say at purchase agreement page. I want to see it on purchase requisition page. He says I need it on even on the purchase order page. But he says that we are German clients. We do not call color in this way. Our language is different. Suppose they call it in different colors. So they really call it something like that. They know that no, we do not say color in this format. We see it in this format. Now, you have configured in the system in this way. So I, being a implementator, I will find a best way and a best practice to do it, right? So what I'll do is, this is your value set, right? I'll refer this value set on a particular flex field, and I'll name that flex field in this way, color entire. We'll see this. Just give you an example right now. Let me reiterate my words so that it'll be easy to understand. Starting point. I had yesterday configured a value set with this three fields, correct? A client comes a requirement that I want to see this value set on this three pages, right? So we configured it in the global search, and that is the global entirely used. But there's a requirement by a client that we do not call it in color in this way. We call it in this format, CPL IUT. So how will do the suffix the requirement? To suffix the things, what Oracle comes up with the thing is, they call it as a flex field. Meaning of flex field is, you can give here the prompt and you can give the value about it and connect a value set to this particular flex field. Now this will become your main area, and this where you want to see this flex field entirely, you can pull this flex field on every pages, and this will refer this particular value set. Let's click it in this list. Let's quickly go into the environment and let's clear it out so it will be much easier to understand. So if you see here, I've logged in as Casey Boyle, one of the administrator. I have three tabs here. If you see, purchase agreements, purchase order, purchase requisition. Let's navigate to each of the pages. So I click on purchase agreement. And this is, if you see, this is once again a which we call it as infolet, which we discussed yesterday. Let me create an agreement. So showing you the importance of flex field and how does it gets created. So I went to agreement, click on agreement. Let me initially create a blanket purchase agreement. That will be fine. I'll just give it a minute or so. Okay. So this is your agreement page. Now client has come with a requirement that show a field here color, and it should be a list of value in this format where I can see the color in this way. It would be color 1, color 2, green 1, blue, green, black, in this way. But he has a requirement, but I do not say it as color. I say it as skiplet. Now there's two possibility. He comes with a second point also, that this is for German client. And we call it as C123, suppose for Japanese client. Now it's getting a little bit more complex for me. Okay, if this is the name, how I'll go? So to overcome this situation, what Oracle comes up with the concept is flex field. Flex field is incorporating this value set. Basically, you know the value set. If you want to add any value, go to the value set, add a value. Flex field will take care of what will be seen on the screen. Actually, how to deal with it, that you have a value set, will refer that value set to get the values, but how the screen and how it will be derived to every part will be referring as flex field. So just what I was saying is, here is there is a requirement to show a color field. First thing, let's go to agreement also. Let's go to this purchase order page also. I click on create order. So it will navigate me to the main screen of the create order. Yep. So that's similar to the one which you saw it in agreement. There's a requirement to show here also. Now my job is to show the same value set, or we'll say the same values and same fields at purchase agreement page also, at the same time at the purchase order phase also. So to come with this situation and how to solve this situation, Oracle come with the concept of flex field. So what Oracle is doing in flex field is you develop a value set. If you want to add any value in moving future, add that value. So yesterday what we did is xxam, we'll say color code. This was the value set name, and it's fine. This is the value set which we put here, right? Now what our next job is, create a flex field. Reason for creating a flex field is this situation only, right? If you want to give a value set, that will be fine, but let's go by, understand the situation, and we'll move proceed further. Our next job is to create a flex field. We'll say it as triplet. Reason being, this is the format which German client is asking, right? And I will refer this value set on this flex field. So that makes my job much easier. Any doubt, guys? Anything which you want me to repeat, or anything which you want to reiterate, I'll do that. But just wanted to give an example so to understand what's the importance of flex field actually. Shantanu, Hari, any doubt, any queries?
Hi sir, I just joined. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I was late.
No worries. So, Garge, what we were doing is we were continuing our discussion yesterday. So, okay, no worries. I'll just reiterate for you. So, we yesterday studied about this thing, if you remember, value set, correct? Garge, can you hear me?
Yes sir, I can hear you. Yes sir,
Okay.
yesterday we were talking about value sets.
Correct. So now we are expanding our demand and expanding what the importance of flex field is actually. Okay. So I think Anuya, you also joined right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no worries. I'll just
Yes.
reiterate for you. So we studied about a value set yesterday, and we created a value set also, correct?
Yes.
With this particular name, right? Now what happens is there's a requirement from a client XYZ, right? What he's asking is, can you provide copy this value set to all these 3 pages? I'm not a person who want it on a single page. I want it on multiple page. And he's saying that we have 2 types of clients. We have German clients also, and we have Japan client also. So German client are not saying the color in this language. They understand it in this particular language. Japan client does not understand color. They understand in C123. They call it color in this way. Now this is becoming more complex for me, that I have defined a value set in this format. Now how to deal with this German client and Japanese client? So to come up with that, what Oracle did it, associate this value set to a particular flex field. Reason for associating this is that you create a flex value set. If you want to add any value moving forward, do the changes there. But what you want to see in the screen, let this guy, descriptive flex field, handle that. So flex field name will be CPLOT, and this will be referring this particular value set. So now once we studied the base yesterday, that is the value set. Now coming up to the flex field, what is the importance of flex field? You're getting my point till this point?
Yes sir, Simba. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So with that note, let's quickly log into the application. Let's see how do we do that. Okay. So as we are more into SCM side right now, I'll be showing you more of SCM descriptive flex field, right? We have for HCM also, we have for finance also, but to be on a more frank side, finance does not follow much of the descriptive flex field. I'll tell you an example as well. This happened with I think around 2014 it happened. There was no, sorry, 18 it what happened, right? Finance guys generally believe much on this main fields which are there. They have ledger, they have this business unit in them, so they do not believe much in this what we say that flex field, because their data is confidential because you have cash management also associated, you have projects information also associated. It depends upon the business complexity. So generally SCM is only the field where we have this broad variety, because what is happening is you are into a cycle of managing the things, like supply chain is going on, correct? You have goods, you have items. Item might have multiple attributes. Oracle provide a standard types of attribute which you can provide, but there can be a scenarios that according to the business they can have multiple things. To give you an example, we were working with one of the UPI industry on 2019. So they come up with a thing that we want a flex field where you show us that what type of packaging it is selling, like discount price. So they wanted to show us discount percent based on other industry. That is, this is a value which we stored used to store in a value set, but show discount percentage on all the 3 pages. This is mandatory for us to show. So this is like a requirement to us, and we have to satisfy this requirement with value set. There's no other solution, because that is the where place where I can store percentage value as 20, 10%, 20%, 30%. So what this industry was asking us, they were much into this UPI payments. So they were much into like, we want to store our discount percentage depending upon the stock, depending upon the availability. We want to show this discount percentage whenever we create a purchase order, because we do not want to go in loss. We are discount percent is very important for us. Reason they called it as really important is because they were something like some, what happens is a stock, they have much into the stock market, right? If according to their value, if their orders are not going into a straight direction, they need to increase the discount percent to let the people go. It depends upon the business. Some industry are in a stable mode that whatever the marketplace is or whatever it is going on, we are in a stable mode. This is our cycle, this is what we implement, and that is fine. But we have some of the industries which are much dependent upon customer satisfaction. Until unless customer is satisfied, their products are not feeling, they have to change the screen, correct? This is what is happening in the market. If you see about this UPI payment thing, so they are much into, they have multiple competitors, right? So how they deal with how much good scratch card, or if you see when we do the payments, right, how much beautiful payments they provide, how much good beautiful scratch card they provide to enthrall the audience and keep the customer satisfied in that their, at least their app occurs in the application of the mobile of the particular customer. So even their purchase order which they are creating, how many deals they are doing, they have to be in the market and depend upon. This are the people, I'll say they are the, will say them the most troublemakers, because who are much of the customer satisfaction in their case. Because one day they will ask 30, then they might increase the demand. No, we want to configure it as 40 because our stocks are not getting in that much height. So these are the people which generally have a tendency to change the screen a lot. But to coming up to another scenario, I'll say you about the manufacturing industry. What happens in manufacturing industry is they have the item price, like suppose they have a stock of cement, right? They will not go for this anything like, so they can go, but they generally do not go for this discount percentage. That is really important for them. They have a standard price, they know the price, they will directly go to the unit price of the item, standardize the item, and deliver the purchase order. This is their standard process which they follow. Actually, if you see about the government agency, they are much more into the approvals thing. Actually, it is really tough there to create a purchase order, because that purchase order goes to a multiple cycle. Actually, multiple cycle, that it has to be approved by this person. Until unless it is approved by the final authority, we can't move forward. So depending upon, but main concept of is as a SCM perspective, and just remember that whenever you have a requirement coming which is adding a field, right? Remember, value set is the one thing, and create a flex field that will suffix the thing, and that is the way which we generally do, right? Uh, so overall, like the crux of this is requirement is there to create a additional field. How to do that? Create a value set, create a flex field. Although you can do it by value set as well, but reason for having a flex field is we know the how the field, if the client has a requirement to how to show the field. Actually, if we do not want this particular client to show that, then to handle that, let value set be stored in the values be stored in a set that we call it as value set, and flex field is the person who will handle how it will look like. Okay, let's go to the application and see where does this get stored. Similar fashion where we have other configuration as well. click on this person name, go to setup and maintenance. Guys, I'll take a hold here. If anyone has any doubt, any queries, please feel free. If you have any doubt in understanding this example, please let me know. I've still not started with the configuration of this thing, but understanding the requirement and understanding the complexity, is it okay? Like what we are doing currently. I'll take a hold here. If anyone has any doubt, guys, please feel frank. Hari, Hanuma, Shantanu, any doubt, guys?
Oh,
No, we're good. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So reason for showing this example is like understand the business requirement. Actually, this is what business is asking. Please implement us. So we are enthralling and checking the capabilities of this particular application. The this is possible. How it is possible. So whenever you in a lifetime you get a situation like that, the client is asking develop a field for me in the OI screen and bring me these values or bring me in the base of a query. You know the requirement that it is adding a field. Now what to do is create a value set, descriptive flexible. Job is done. That is quite easy, right? Now we understood value set yesterday. Let's understand flex field, right? To do that, let me first show you as a SCM perspective where are the flex field being stored. So go to this procurement tab. We'll first cover procurement, then we'll cover order management. Actually, that's this O2C cycle. It comes in the order management, and P2P is completed in procurement tab. P2P is something which is quite huge because it is procure to pay. O2C is because it's directly a order to cash thing. So that will come in the second part. Because understanding a P2P becomes much like it's quite complex actually, because P2P is long process starting from agreement, requisition, purchase order. Order to cash is something you create an order, bill it, it's fine, right? So we'll understand P2P first because that has multiple components, and then we'll take an example of order to cash. We'll cover both the things, don't worry. This two things goes hand to hand in SCM, but procurement, frankly speaking, is quite huge. Reason being is it's used by multiple sources, and generally what happens is as a standard which we see, agreement is something which should come first, right? What order to cash does is directly creating an order, and generally even client does not prefer it, and even it depends upon the organization. If they are following order to cash, it's fine. They are into much hurry of getting an order, billing it out, go for O2C. P2P is something which is like a standard process and a bulk order, which depends. Giving an example, you sign an agreement first thing, that two parties which are in the very much into the market, okay, this will be a 1-year lease which we sign. I'll give an example also. So I was working in around 2020 with a manufacturing part also, like working on one of the project with them. So what I saw in their system, and when I was comparing their orders, that they had a 1 million or about 2 billion orders, and how to deal with them 20 million in that way. So they were having a big purchase orders in that sense, but they followed a standard cycle that I will not create a purchase order until a purchase agreement has been signed and correspondingly purchase requisition has been signed. Reason they were saying it is that we do not create any order until it is going to a managed approval thing. Approval is something which is really important for us. We do not accept a single order until an agreement is available on this. Reason they were following this is because they were much into this electric poles and like cement manufacturing, multiple units of them, multiple units of them. But to standardize the process, their high leaders should understand. So they wanted that our high leader, until unless he signs the agreement, and that or agreement is completed in the fusion, we do not proceed further. So that depends upon the business requirement actually. And so simultaneously I worked on a integration project also. So what integration project was doing is that was from Salesforce to Oracle. If you have like known about the system Salesforce also, it's currently also in the market. This is a CRM product which is which has came around. It also came around 2017 and 18 also. Reason CRM Salesforce is on boom is currently because the screens which are they showing, right? These are standard Oracle screen, right? These are not much customization. You can't do many personalization on this because Oracle has provided you the standard. This cannot be changed much. But what this Salesforce screen is doing is it allows you to even configure minute things. But there's a difference, and that when you allow a person to do multiple changes in an environment, that definitely enhances the security of the team. So the project was something in this way. I wanted to give you that experience as well. Sorry, just guys, thoda sa I'm just getting little bit away from the topic, but wanted to explain you what was happening, and giving this example will literally help. So the project was this. Because we are much into now into B2B environment now, these things are also coming into the market and very much prevalent. So what these guys were doing is they create a sales order in Salesforce. Bhumi is the person who's, which we say as a platform which integrates, takes this sales order details and provide me to in Oracles. So we have APIs also available in Oracle. What Oracle will do is, I'll tell it as Oracle sales order. We call it as Salesforce sales order. Okay. Now, what was happening is, what cycle or the integration they were trying to develop is Salesforce will create an order. Bhumi will pick that order. Bhumi will push that order to Oracle, and that order comes to my environment, this Oracle Fusion environment. And here I process that order further, and then they are getting released. So when I work with this guys, what I understood is Salesforce screen are very much customization. They were even into like that. Okay, if you want to create the order, we can do it in the backend itself. But Fusion does not allow you. You have to follow the standard process. You have to follow a complete structure out of it. Reason for telling this example is that Oracle with this new SCM cloud has provided flexibility to connect to multiple systems. Even I worked on one of the project which was connecting from Litmus. That is nothing but the SAP application. They are also, but in that case, we have multiple platforms. So they were using OIC into picture and connecting it with Oracle. So understand in this way also that moving forward with Fusion environment and B2B environment coming into the market a lot, EBS was something which was not that much good for this B2B business. But with Oracle Cloud and the APIs which Oracle has provided, what we call it as API is web services. How you can connect to this particular environment or do a different environment is just providing a web service to Bhumi. Okay, this is a web service for purchase order. Just link this way, use this API, and you can fetch the details. Similarly, Salesforce also in that way. So moving forward, whenever you have a client interaction, be very much flexible. There might have a requirement with the cloud that we want integration to be in practice, and integration is something which is really really important actually. Reason for having that is because cloud is, earlier when we were having the EBS project, was much into upgrade project where you were only upgrading the EBS data from one environment to other environment. But with cloud in the market, we have three types of things which has to be do. Remember this point also, whenever there's an implementation of cloud project from any legacy system, this will be the three teams which will be involved. One is conversion, who will be pushing your data from, taking your data, I'll say, taking your data from, suppose we are implementing a project which is from R2L to Oracle Cloud. Reason I wanted to explain you and give you a background about this, what type of projects you see in the market, right? This is really important. Sorry guys, I'm just bifurcating from the current topic, but being understanding what type of projects are coming and what type of market it's going currently and what are the client requirement, because even we have started to adhere to the situation that okay, we know we have worked around this 10 to 11 clients what their requirement was. So we know what was a common requirement between these guys, so and how we can deal with it and how can we serve our client better. Correct. Maximum projects which you'll see and maximum like people which come to us, what they ask is how can you implement R12 to cloud, 11 out to cloud, right? So what we decided with the strategy, this is much more of a leadership decision, but telling you the importance of this is, you know, okay, how this project goes is really important, right? You know, purchase order, you know, SCM job, but how this project will move forward is really really important, right, to understand. So we have three types of team: conversion, integration, and third is functional. Now what this conversion guys do is taking the data and pushing into cloud. Now, second comes the integration team. What is this guy's job is? This one, which I was saying. If the data is coming from Salesforce, take the data from Boomi, bring it to me, develops upon them. This is a much more of technical team, depends upon them. Bring slash push out the data from cloud. Tertiary. This is our main job. We are the persons who configure the things. Until unless this is done correctly, this will definitely fail. Conversion and integration fail, right? Until the business unit has been configured correctly, until the location has been configured correctly, nothing will go correctly. So there's an importance of this. Although I believe we have an important technical in both aspects, but remember, this is the first thing which is done. Any environment which you do, I should mention it here. First comes the configuration part. So this is, we'll also follow, like when we'll proceed with the training also, configuration is something which has to be really really strong. Until the, because a minute change, suppose even if you have a location you configure and you by chance mention a space in that, it will not be getting configured, right? It will be really showing an error for this conversion guys integration, right? So just imagine this as an example. Reason for showing this and just giving you a background is, moving future, when you come into SCM and have a live project example, you are understanding the things. Okay, in the training I have done a part that I know how this project will move forward. This will boost your confidence as well. At the same time, you know, okay, what this guys will expect, what is the particular ask from me. Depends upon, if you're a technical person, you will definitely go into conversion and integration. As a functional perspective, you will be the one who will be configuring the thing. uh, Three of the things do have a very much significance importance, but this is something which is a standard process, and this is what we follow actually, and this is the correct way actually. Even if you see the different organization, even they have start to develop tools as well, how we can implement this R12 to cloud. They know, they started to develop tool. Even right now, Exemptor as the one of the tool which came into the market is like taking the data, push and pulling the data to Fusion, how quickly they can do. Earlier it was happening, the technical team has to develop BI queries, take the data in the form of Excel, push the data. But now companies know what type of projects are coming, so they have started to develop a tool. Even I came across a tool that was Oracle Cloud Migrator, they were saying. So what these guys do is they take the data from conversion. It's just a click of button. They have developed an application for that, custom application. Even they have developed a mobile application. Push the data to me, I'll convert this data as per the cloud, push it to Oracle Cloud. So to be in the market, just start being on reading on this. So this will help you that what is currently in SCM training, what even like what is the recent client requirement. Okay, so just sorry guys, just bifurcated from our topic, but this is something really important. Just understand in this way how to implement it. I'll just push this thing to you so that you remember in this purpose, right? Let me push it in the chat. Okay. So whenever you get across a situation where you have an implementation project, right? Understand in this way that this will be your main job and this is the project which goes. Understanding our part is fine, but understanding what how the project and how do we implement is really really important. I'll take a halt here, guys. If anyone has any queries, any doubt which you want to ask me, please feel free. Any doubt, Bhaskar? Any doubt, Shantanu?
I'm good.
Okay.
No, I'm good. Varun.
Yeah, okay. So just understand it in this way that whenever you have a lifetime experience of this cloud and there's a client requirement, this is the three components which you'll see in the project actually, and this is how we implement actually. Now it depends upon organization that uh, how this TCS Infosys, what they are doing is they are building tools also out of it already. Now with so much the cloud has taken up around 7 to 8 years. So tools have come in the market. Even how this is a standard process, but how fastly and how quickly I can implement this is depending. So they have started to develop their own custom application where they pull the data, push the data. Integration also, Boomi was not that much into the market, but right now it has covered entirely because it has so many good connectors with that if you ask it to connect with anything, maximum market here upon which I read a post also, they're about to connect around 89% things, 89% application they are about to connect, and they have connected it also, Oracle Cloud, Salesforce, anything. API is very much easy. OIC is something which is Oracle one, right? So Oracle is much more into like connecting with not that much stable actually. I'll say Boomi is much more active, or we'll say it as more prevalent actually in the market. And the API and the concepts also, Boomi is very much, just from an integration perspective, I'll tell you this thing. OIC is still stabilizing, but the faster, the quicker response is given by Boomi. Okay, let's fall back to our topic, guys. Okay, now we were about to configure the flex field, correct? So what we do is go to the setup and maintenance, click on procurement, click on purchasing foundation. If you see here, we have purchasing descriptive flex field, requisition descriptive flex field. Reason I have first brought you here is understand in this way. We have two types of method. Once again, manage value set. We have manage purchase value set. Reason we call it as managed purchasing because it is completely depending upon purchasing. That is a P2P cycle, correct? Similarly, when you say about procurement, so always remember, if you want to configure in procurement tabs, go by manage purchasing descriptive flex field. Why to configure it in the global search, correct? If you remember last time also when we configured as a part of value set, correct? And that's the way which we are following up with. Reason for showing this screen is how value set, how descriptive flex field, if you see they go side by side. One which is created in value set has to be created in descriptive flex field because that is something which you see in the screen. Even for requisition, if you see, we have a value set, we have corresponding descriptive flex field, and the reason is the same. Value set associated with the flex field, correct? Now let's go to purchasing descriptive flex field. Click on this hyperlink. Let us just open. Okay. Let's select the purchasing one. Okay, so guys, understand in this way, we are right now going with the procurement thing first, then we'll come up to the order management. But procurement, reason I'm choosing procurement first is because this is quite complex and this is like much more having more components actually. Order to cash will be quite easy. Once you go to P2P cycle, complete P2P, then it will be quite easy to understand O2C because that is directly to cash management, nothing else. Now, here, when I search on this, if you see here, and connect the dots, we have agreement line, we have agreement notification, we have order distribution, purchase or document headers, document line, document schedule. Now why so many components? So we saw I want this at the headers, but some client might have a requirement, no, I do not want to show it at headers, bring it onto the purchase order line page, sorry, line section. Now what Oracle did is that to solve this requirement, it placed all the pages. If you can see here by the name also, you can understand. This is the table name by default, pure distribution, pure headers, all pure lines. So if there's a requirement where I want the flex field in the line section, go to the purchasing document lines. If there's a requirement which I want to go to the purchasing document header section, if I want, what I can do is go to the pure header section. If there's a requirement to go to the purchasing distribution section, go with it. Okay, let's first go line by line. I click on purchase order document header, click on this edit. If you see here, this was the already one created one. Let us delete it. We'll create a new one. So this will be the screen which you'll see initially when you have no flex field created. Now let's understand each of the field. Reason for calling it purchasing document header is depends upon the requirement. If you want it at the header section, go to the purchasing document headers, right? This is Oracle maintained flex field code, PO headers to identify, okay, this was for the flex field which is associated with the header level, right? If you just understand the description, a document header which contain identifying information. So this is the description of the particular flex field component, which you call it as purchasing document header, right? If you see here, the application which I'm currently in is purchasing. This is completely into P2P thing, correct? Now, if I want to create a segment, right, what I'll do is click on this icon, right? Now, if you see, it has navigated to me a particular page. So this we call it as segment when we define a flex field. Now, to important point which I want to, if you remember, we had configured value set. So when I configure a particular segment, this will refer this value set, and this is nothing but the flex field actually. Getting my point? I'll take a halt here. What I was explaining here is associating a flex field with a value set. Correct? This is what is happening here. If you see in the screen, flex field I'll define. Under that, defining segment is like, because we can have multiple, right? We can have if I want one segment in this format, other in this format. So what Oracle does is flex field is the main thing which can have multiple segment. Correct? I am associating a value set to particular flex field. I'll take a halt here, guys, if you have any doubt, any queries.
So Varun, the
Yeah.
flex field, what you just showed,
Mhm.
document header, document lines are standard flex fields
Correct,
provided
correct.
by Oracle.
Yes, that are the standard. You can't create your own. You can create your custom descriptive flex field, but generally what happens is we suffix a requirement with this, because Oracle already has what is done is, I'll tell you what from technical perspective also what is happening. When I'm selecting purchasing document headers now, whenever I'll be storing this value set and the column which I'll be selecting, it will be going on to PO headers all table attribute anything
Hmm.
directly from PO headers all. If you see a purchasing document lines, it will be going to PO lines all. That is a line table of purchase order. So automatically Oracle has done that bifurcation. If you select PO distribution here, purchasing document distribution, right? It will be taking the column of our purchase PO distribution all table actually in that sense.
Okay, okay. So for all the pages, for purchasing or for order management, we do have the standard
Correct, correct.
flex
We
field
already
defined.
have. We already have. Yes. And we had multiple things which you see right on the page. If I can just navigate back for you. Let me, the environment is quite slow. Just you see under purchasing utilities which we have, this has so many. This are the flexible code which are available. If I can scroll down for you, all of them are the line types, agreement types, procurement agent, supplier list, part of purchasing configuration which you can do. So Oracle had provided these are the flexibilities, and this are the area where you can develop a flex field and particular segment out of it actually. So these are Oracle standard one actually.
Okay, got
Yeah. And one more important point is, suppose you develop a flex field and you say, no, actually, I do not want to like deploy it. So we have an option of deploying a flex field also. Once you create it, you have to deploy it also actually. Uh, Depends upon the requirement. That initially a development started that we want to create a flex field, then at the second day a client comes, no guys, I do not want to see it, can you retard it? So you can hold that status currently. Okay, if you do not want that, I can change it. So I'll tell you that importance also, but let's first create a flex field. uh, Sorry, just give me. Okay, let's create a flex field at the header. Okay, yeah, I deleted it here. Okay, oh sorry, I did not save it, I guess. That is, actually this is an open environment, so it's been used by multiple people all over the environment. Perfect. Okay, now it's safe. Let's create our own flex wheel and particular segment out of it. Okay, I'll say it as name as easy for understanding, German client color code. Now what had happened is when I type the name German client color code is this is the name which I will see, right? Or sorry, the name which I have given. Code is something which automatically Oracle generate, because this is something for their internal use. They need to identify, okay, this is that one taken. API name. What is API name is, if suppose that's the thing which I was talking about, the integration team wants to refer it. So they will not go by this name. They have to refer this particular field by this particular name. So this is for integration user, this is for my understanding, and this is for Oracle understanding. So three differences, right? You're getting my point. So API name, you might say a question that why I can even the integration team can refer this, but that is not the case, because what happens in integration, white spaces are not allowed actually. If you see the name and the API name, there's no space actually. If you try to give a space as well, it will show an error, because what happens from integration technical perspective, they require in this format there should be no spaces. But as a name which I'm putting, I can put a white space, right? Even Oracle is okay to put a white space, but from a technical perspective, they need the API name in the format where there's no white spaces. Correct? That's one point. Now for your easy understanding, and if you want to refer this flexible moving forward, just let's give a description also. German flex field. Now depend, this is the header section which I have filled right now, right? Data type. Now if you know the value set or the type of value set which you are referring is, you can select what will be the data type. In our case, it is will be a character, because I'm referring a color code in that way. Let's select character. Now understand the important point here. If you have seen, it has taken attribute one automatically. Reason being, it is taking pure headers one, attribute one in that case, right? Because I am referring a purchase document headers. Getting my point, guys? Now one more important point is, if you see here by value set, Oracle by default provides their own value set as well, where we can store the value automatically, right? If I click a random search, this will be developed by earlier. Multiple value set all over the environment, which are the value set which been used by any of the client, that will be available. So this is like, this was an environment which is available for all, right? So what has happened is, if you see, if I can scroll, there are multiple value set which are available. So entirely I can refer anything. If you see, this one would have been created by some finance person, that also I can see in the list, but depends, because if you want as a requirement, you should follow our value set, correct? But you can see entire value set available also here. If you remember, this is the one which we created yesterday, XSDAV color code, correct? Reason I was showing this is that you can have multiple or hundreds of value set available in the system, right? All the value set which have been created by any user, right, will be available. Suppose if Hari created one value set, I have a right to use his value set also, right? Dependently, if I want to refer that value which was created in that values, I can do that. That is possible. See, this would have been created by cash management team, so they have this value set created in this format. But always we prefer the value set which we prefer and which we have created, and use that one, because this might be related to some other team members and other team people, or the apart from SCM. But reason for showing them is, even you can incorporate any of the value set. This is an open environment. There's no restriction which you will see, okay, no, the SCM person cannot use the finance value set here. All the value set will be visible to you. But definitely, to keep a track of it, you have to select the one which you want to do on the particular. So sorry, let's search by the one which we created last time. This is the one, correct? Let me select that. If you see, automatically when I have given this name, the value which we have provided, right, has come here. This is required by client to know the color code, which we had given yesterday, sorry. Now, if you want to deal with it and want to add any value, you have a right to create view value set. So this will take you to that page once again, where we created the manage value set, if you remember, right? This has come there directly. So this is what we did yesterday. This is required other fields in that list. What was the values? If you can go here, click on manage values, search the values. This is the one which we had given yesterday, correct? I'm just connecting the dots right now, starting from value set and how we are creating a segment right now. So we started with the value set. Now what we are doing, interacting with the table also, Oracle table also, because it's taking a space there, right, in attribute one. Let's scroll down. Now if you want this to be validated, or it should be a required field, um, what do you mean a required field? That there's two possibility, right? If the client comes, no, this has to be given by the client, this has to be given by the customer when they fill, you can mark this field as mandatory, keep it required. Similarly, if you want, no, this is not a required field, even this I can create a purchase order bifurcating this field, then it's fine, avoid this checkbox, correct? Similarly, what comes out with the display property? Now as we say, I've fetched a value from a value set, but this is a German client, right, who was asking me a requirement that I do not say color in this way, I say in CPL out format. Copy this, copy to prompt. What is prompt is the background process will be this, but when you'll go to the screen, you will see it in CPL out format, correct? That's the requirement this segment, the particular segment of the flex field is fulfilling for you. Because if a Japanese come client, then you can create one more segment and keep that name as C123. So what you will see on the screen is this prompt word CPL out, but what will be the stored in the backend is the color code and the value set which you're associating, correct? Let's go with German client first. So more specific, let's write it in this way, color. Guys, till at this point, am I clear? Is any doubt in this? Please let me know.
So Varun, one thing like we have the API name, right? So
Correct.
any value set on like any segment we create, will it be stored as a web service at the background so that we can use it through the API? So that's the reason.
Actually, not as a web service, we'll call it as a component, actually, which will be stored.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, so it will be a separate component, but it will be a REST service, right?
Yeah,
We
it
will
will
be
be
calling
REST
through the
service.
REST API. Okay.
Correct. So I think I'll tell you that also. We have a standard, if I can search it for you. So the Oracle site for Fusion, right? This I'll share the link for this also. This is http://docs.oracle, where you have all the REST API information for the supply chain management. Actually,
Oh,
let it
okay.
just load. I'll provide.
Oh, okay. All the REST endpoints are there.
Correct. So just give me a minute, guys. Just.
Yeah. And Varun, when you were mentioning about the Boomi versus OIC, is MuleSoft better than the Boomi, or else MuleSoft is?
Actually, MuleSoft is also good, actually. But what I see is with the market being more expanding, now Boomi has come into picture a lot, actually. Because it from a technical background also, what I heard is from technical people and even working on that Boomi, I know that the screens and the functionality which is provided, easy connection are there. Even for stapling a connection, it's quite easy, actually. MuleSoft is also fine. Even MuleSoft, if you see, it's also in the market. Some of my clients are also using MuleSoft as well right now, so that is also
Okay.
prevalent.
Yeah, I use Boomi, but I just want to understand how the MuleSoft is. So yeah.
MuleSoft is also fine, actually. That is because that is still connecting to EBS environment also. MuleSoft can connect to EBS environment also, but with the market being more like, even like as functional folk, we want more screen to be in a better way, right? Similarly, technical people also want how easier their job can be, correct? uh, we had, to give an example, we had this from Oracle perspective, I'll give you. We were using OF pages, Oracle ADF, that was going fine in the market, it was still working fine. But with the cloud coming into this practice, it's similar like to a language change, right? We understand C, C++, Java, but with better understanding, we came across AngularJS, Node.js. That is more much easier to write coding into that for technical people. And even in the platform perspective, see, we have Boomi, we have OIC, we have MuleSoft, we have different types of platform. But Boomi has actually what boomed it up is because of the API which is provided by Boomi, and easy connection actually in that way.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to this. If I can show you one of this. Okay, let's click this. Okay, so if you see here, this is the complete API which is there for creating a sales order, for deleting one sales, or getting all the sales order details, right? Here, if you see, it starts from slash sign, but to just integrate with this particular environment, all you need to pass is this thing, the instance credential till this point.
Yeah, the host name. Okay.
Correct, correct. You pass that, you can use, you can do it through any platform like Postman also, you can try SOAP UI, which we
Yes.
have, right?
Yep.
This will work. Now, if you want to refer a particular column, all you need to do is slash and this particular API name component, this one. This will suffix the thing actually.
Oh, okay.
But actually, what's the reason for having here API name is how technical person will differentiate which field he need to fetch, right?
Yeah.
In that case, correct. Okay. Yeah, let's move forward, right? So we're talking about prompt, right? Guys, any other question? Please feel free, Frank. Please feel frank. No worries.
Varun,
Yeah, yeah.
actually, I have one query.
Mhm.
So this particular flex field is going to table column attribute one, right?
Correct.
Or suppose this table has only one, like 30 attributes column. So like, so more than 30 flex fields we need to create, how will we handle?
No, it has around, if you see, Oracle has 30 as attribute, 15 as attribute, 30 as attribute number one, attribute date as 40, right? So that will be fine. Actually, client do not have so many requirement to be that they want 50 flex field, right, at header, because that page will get destroyed. Correct.
Oh.
If you see, we have around 15 plus, that is around 15 plus 15, that is 30 plus 15 4 of date format, right? So that we have 45 flex field is fine actually in that case, because the screen which I show at headers, you will not have 45 flex field, right? That will not be a requirement coming up.
Oh.
I get your point that is there a limitation? Yes, definitely. Definitely there's 45, but we, even whenever you also go to an implementation, you will not see a requirement that they want 45 flex fields at max actually.
Okay. Okay.
Even
Varun.
there's a way actually, if you want 45, apart from this, instead of using this value set, then we have to use the Oracle HRC columns actually. That is a standard bifurcate columns which are being provided by Oracle. What it does is, that is a free table. It has only a header ID and one more component, actually ID fields for easy understanding. You can use that table in that case.
Oh.
So those are UDF fields, Varun?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But generally, frankly speaking, we do not get a requirement, or will, even you will not get a requirement that having 45 flex field on the header section will not make a difference.
Yes.
Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move forward. Prompt. So we'll give a prompt name as color code for German client. Let me make a display side of 2020 so that size suffix nothing. Now, what is the importance of this definition help text and instruction help text? So Instruction help text is what is happening is, suppose if you would have seen the forms also, pages also. If we can give you an example here. Yeah, suppose whenever I go to this page, right, I can see whenever I go to this island, right, what happens is it is showing download. So it helps me to understand if I'm a new user, I do not know what the sign matters. I do not know what the sign does is. When I go, it allows, what is this page doing it? It is giving a pop-up in that search. Similarly, same thing if you want, where you want an instruction help state that the person does not understand, okay, what this field is. You can do it. This field is for German client for color code. So what I've done is I've made the things more easier for this field, similar to this one, which I'm showing to you, that whenever I navigate to a page, how easy this field will be easier for the client to understand or the customer to understand in that way. Or we can it as instruction help text, a text which will help you to identify. Now, important point is, if you see here also when I'm doing it, specify text to provide direction on using the field. This text is displayed in an field and helps node window when user gives a focus to or hover cover the field. That means this will be reflected whenever the user comes to close to this field. We'll show that. I'll show that also. Now, if you say definition help text, specify text to provide a description clarifying the point. So what happens is, suppose I go to this, I've created this prompt, but by name, I do not know what this text does here. So what I need to do is, for if I am working on a project and after some time I get released, I do not, I'm working on the project. So different guy comes, right? So for his understanding, let me copy this. By name, to understand a field will be really tough. If I give the name C1, C2, C3, C4, then how will he understand that? So in order for another person to understand, and if I'm not working on that, he can understand by this definition helps us. Okay, this field is for this one. What is the importance? So here is like a free field. If you see one thing also, these are not mandatory actually. It depends upon the requirement. What are the mandatory field which you see is data type, this are API name, code, table column, which column to select. Reason Oracle has asked is to keep it mandatory. Suppose I do not want to keep it to attribute 1. No, I do not want to keep it at attribute 1. Give me attribute 3 for this. That also you can do. Depend upon the requirement. But once an attribute being taken, cannot be used by other thing. That I'll show you. Okay. But giving a feel of this to field was important, because how you can suffix or satisfy customer requirement in a better way is really important, right? So definition help text is for my personal, our team, that okay, if Hari is working on that, someday he said, no, I'm not available for this, can you check the field? Then if I come to the screen, okay, what is XSDAVR? I do not understand what is this doing, I do not know. So I can read the definition help text. Even if Shantanu comes, that he has added a field here, instruction help text. So what he is doing is he has made the screen very much glorifying. Okay, whenever I get the screen there, I know, okay, what does this mean? So this will be a very good customer experience in that way. And now, if you see, there are two more fields which we need to cover. That is read only and BI enable. What do we mean by BI enable? So we have OTBI reports and BI reporting. So BI enable means, do you want field to be used as part of reporting as well? So I can check it as yes or no. Look, yeah, in reporting also I might require this field. Reporting, if this checkbox is not enabled, then if the OTBI reports or the BI reports which you fetch will not be getting this particular field. So for the reporting purpose, this checkbox is there. Meaning of read only is similar the thing one. If you want to make the field read only, then click on this. If you do not want, that's fine. Let's make it read only currently and save this details. Now what will happen is save is, just give me a minute. It just, now two things to understand. Code is already taken, right? No one can use this same code. First thing. Attribute 3 is taken. If you see, this is now is non-editable. No one can take this. If I come down, rest of fields are editable dependently, because sometimes what happens is, no, XXDAV was the one color code which we are using, but some of the other day I find, no, yeah, this is not the way. I think I should create a new value set. I can do that, right? In that case, I can choose different value set and corresponding table column for it. But sorry, correspondingly table column will remain the same. Value set you can choose differently, right? Also for the data type, this is fixed. No one can change it. It is character. That means it has to be character. Correct? Now let's are we clear to this point, right? What I wanted to by save is that once a table column has been taken, it cannot be altered, because reason being, if 3 is taken, if I keep it open, what will happen is some other one person can come and take 3, then it will get duplicacy, right? What 3 is referring to, correct? So that is taken away. Take a halt here, guys. If anyone has any doubt, any queries, please feel free. Just I've only saved the details, but just wanted to show what is while saving and what alteration you can do and what alteration you cannot do, right? So moving forward, if you get a requirement, no value set which you are using, can you retard it? Yes, that is possible. Go here, search the new values and take it. That's fine. Some of the one client comes, no, yeah, this screen, the color prompt which you are showing is not that correct. Can you show it as color code for German client X1? That also you can do. I can just have to click X1, click on save. Once again, the option is available, right? Let me save it, show you. Just give it a minute, actually. Fine, done. X1 is saved, right? So that is possible for you, right? Let's go this, save this flex field. So once saved, there's no possibility, like, guys, it's not mandatory to always click on save and go to save and close. You can click on save also, that is fine. And to close, you can directly, once save, it is fine. Oracle saves this. Let's click on save and close this to just save the detail also and simultaneously close. So if you can see, a segment has been created for me with German color code. Attribute 3 is taken, value set, this is there. Save and close. Now, if you see here, the sign has changed. Reason the sign has changes, it is still not deployed by me, right? So suppose you have created, but the client tells you, no, please hold for 2 or 3 days, do not deploy it. But understand this a point, if it's deployed also, that will be fine. You can still edit and cancel it out. That will be still a possibility. Once deployed also, it's not that it will be remaining always in that status. You can change also, right? Now currently, if you see the sign has changed, that means that particular flex field is not deployed. Select this. To select this, what you need to do is just click on this right hand side. You will see this one is selected, deploy flex field. Now internal process and getting started. If you see, now it's copying the data to this particular table here it is, and it is deploying this. So if you see here, deployment is done, deployment completed successfully, start a new session. Remember everything, whenever you deploy things, Oracle generally recommends sign out and come back to the application to see the changes, because it takes time to process the things. Okay, so as guess it's 100%, so deployment has been done. I click on OK. Let me sign out and come back to the screen. Log into the application once again. Let's go to purchase order. Let's once again navigate to the create order page. If you see here in our additional information, Just a minute. Why that LOV is not coming? Just a minute. Let's check it out. So our field is coming. Color code for German client. Even the prompt is coming. Let's see why it is not coming. Let's once again navigate to the points. Check if we have not missed anything. Let's go here. Stop values. Okay, so contacts is not assigned to it currently. Okay, that is the reason. Just give me a minute, guys. These are already configured. Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. This is fine. We are able to get the field, but I think the issue is with the already available field. Okay, I just look it for you. I'll get back to it. This need to be checked actually. Okay, no worries. At least we are getting the field. I'll check it because already this field have been there. It might have affected it, but no worries. But guys, are we clear till this point actually? Are we able to
Varun,
edit? Yeah. Go
Varun,
ahead.
actually, you keep as a read only because of that. It is
Mm,
giving.
yeah, correct. That might be the case. I'm just thinking. Let me just do that also. Correct. That also we can try. Oh, correct. I have checked the required field here and read only there. Correct. Yes. Let's see. I'm not sure. I'm just thinking it might have not been impacted due to other flex field. Let's deploy it and just check it out. Let's relog in. I guess might be that case only. Let's see. Yep. Sorry. Thanks, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Okay. So guys, here's the one, right? Oh yeah, it's not my bad. Actually, I put it read only, so it had only allowed me to see the field, right? Correct. Sorry, my bad. But you can see here right now, right? Correct. The field is there. Additional field has got created. The value set values are coming. Right? Now, what additional at what has Oracle has provided? When you click on search, even you can search the value. If you do not remember, if there are hundreds of value, let's search by light green. So, light blue, the color is coming, right? So here, now understand two components here which I wanted to so there are three sections if you see, right? General, this is Oracle standard one, right? You cannot make any changes here directly. If you come and you can't directly add a field at the header section. If you see what we have done is Oracle has given me a flexibility. If you want add anything at the header section, we are still not create any field in the line section, right? We have only created in the header section. It automatically creates an additional information section for you, right? This will happen same in the line schedule and distribution also. It will create an additional information section for you that can be referred. Oracle does not allow to change their standard field actually, but they allow you to create your own field in collaboration that will be added as an additional field, right? But still this is being referred in the header section. If you see, I'm still not in the line section, right? It is still referred in the header section actually. So that's the main concept, right? Understand in this point, remember this point, that whenever you create an additional field, what will happen is it will always be created as an additional information, but it is still referring the headers level, right? This table and the column which is referred is in the pure headers as all only. And whenever you create a line schedule and distribution also, it will come as an additional information. A section will automatically get created, correct? That was the main agenda. Okay, so guys, are we clear till this point? I'll take a halt here, so anyone has any doubt, any queries, please feel free.
So, Varun, can we publish, like when we are deploying the change, can we publish the change only to a certain user group rather than publishing to all the user group?
No. Deployment will be completely to the environment actually.
Oh, okay. So it
Yeah.
will be for everybody, right?
Correct. You can't hide this field, but yeah, definitely what you can do is for this requirement, if you want specific scenario which we were discussing yesterday, right? We have, if you see, we have value set as in the table format also, correct? Where we can create in the table format. We had from clause, where query, correct? If you remember yesterday. In that,
Yes.
correct. But in that case will depend upon the information which you want to fetch. Overall, it will be deployed to complete application.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There are certain functionalities I heard, like where we can deploy the changes only to the certain user group, and if everything looks good, then we can publish to everybody. Like it's like
Correct. But that comes under approval management actually. That's a part of we are talking about the purchasing descriptive field, right? That we can do it in the order management descriptive flex fields actually.
oh, okay.
Purchasing has to be completely unified.
Oh, okay.
I get your point. That is regarding the approvals. That will come under approval management basket. That I can show you that also. What happens in approval management, we have to create groups actually. Okay, so what happens is that comes under supplier qualification as well. So what happens is approval, some of the, like suppose you and me are in the same approval team, and suppose Hari and Shantanu are in different approval team. We are approving a negotiation. We are understanding the requirement. Okay, this is client which has given, sorry, this is a supplier who has given me this quotation for this. I am very, you and me are very much into that. No, we want that field. Is it that answer is yes or no? But Hari and Shantanu are not into that. No, that field does not matter to me. So that we can do basically. That we can do depending
No,
upon.
I think I was mainly looking on the blue-green deployment kind of thing, but I
Correct.
think maybe that is not available for here, I believe.
No,
Cloud.
that will, yeah, that deployment will come here. That all there also. Hari, sorry, Bhaskar. That will come there also. But that is approval management part, which I want to say.
Okay.
Anyone, any other question, guys? I get your point, Bhaskar, but that is possible. That is no worries. That we can do. I can show you, but that will be coming under approval management. The deployment,
Approval
which
management.
is, yeah, deployment,
Okay.
which you see now, because for that we have to create groups actually out of it first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So my main agenda, guys, today was to connecting the dots, starting for value set, coming up to the descriptive flex field. So now we have got a confidence at least, we can create our own fields in the environment. This is a starting point where we know, okay, if a client has a requirement, this is what Oracle has provided as a functionality. To sum up the things, this is what you can do. Understand my point? Why reason I'm saying this is only what we can do is, this is what adding a field can come up in Oracle. Apart from this, if you try to make any other changes depends upon the environment, that can you do that or not, right? If some of say no, I want not in this format, can we change it into some other format? Can we change like should not come in the additional info, I definitely want this in this, that is not possible. So the answer should be yes, straight away. No, Oracle does not allows you to change its standard fields. Never. It will never allow you to configure order or change status field. That is not possible. Any additional field which you want comes there. Obviously we have change order templates also available where you depends, but the one which you're seeing mandatory will not be, you can hide them, display them, that options are available. But nevertheless, any additional field in this section is not provided by Oracle. It will definitely going up to the additional information, because if what happens is some other person comes and change, no, he is trying to configure and change into build to location, he's changing the name to some other as build to two location, that will distort my application. So the standard field can be switched on, switched off, but no configuration changes to this fields actually. So that was the main thing which I wanted to show. Any other question, guy? Any other feedback? Any other concept which you think you want to see once again? I'll be happy to share the screen once again and show you. But my main agenda of this call was to give you an importance of what is flex field, what we do here currently, how the value set is getting copy on the flex field, what is the importance of this flex field, and how we can take it forward. So right now what we have done is configure the things in a value set. Sorry, we'll configure a flex field, and this flex field can be used, and this flex field is interacting with the table also, taking the data from particular value set and store the value in the PO header all actually. Any other question, guys? Please feel free.
It is little bit out of topic, Varun, but yeah, I see there is a field required signature, right? So can we do the e-signature here? Like, will there be any sign field for this one, or else?
E-signature, no, no. As part of standard descriptive value set, we do not have e-signature actually. I get your point.
Okay.
That is for of ADF, PDF, right? Which we have in Acrobat, which we do.
Yes, yeah. We generally for the purchase orders, we want to do the e-signature. Like whoever is approving, we want to do a e-signature. So do we have a option here?
No,
Like if you see in the terms, there is a checkbox called required signature. So
this one
is it
yes.
some?
No,
Yes.
this is like when we will publish this now as a PDF, what happens is this purchase order we can publish as PDF, right? Correct.
Yeah.
So when you publish it as a PDF, you can send it over mail. So if you see a checkbox, right, it will require signature when copying that back from that particular supplier. In that case, not for here, it will not matter here in that case.
Oh, okay. Okay.
On UI screen of Fusion, you cannot do it. For this, we have, if you know, there's a concept of pure PDF actually, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Purchase order PDF gets sent, right? So whenever you create a purchase order, PDF gets created automatically. So
Yeah.
what company does is they create a template also for this, like similar to one which you've seen for Amazon.
PO
Actually.
output for communication.
Correct,
Yes, we
correct,
do that. Yeah.
correct.
So generally, like the signature piece, like we generally hard code it, the
Correct,
signature.
correct. Yes.
But apart from that, like whoever is approving it, during the notification section, do we have an option to have a sign field
No.
where they can do the sign? Like I can integrate with DocuSign, that is the EBS version. But I remember like we had a sessions with Oracle. At that time, Oracle mentioned uh, we can do the like already that e-signature is embedded in the cloud where they can sign it directly. So just want to understand whether that is still.
I'll tell you, with 22B and 22C coming up to practice, right? They still are not that much confidence on e-signature. Actually, this was a requirement. Even I have gone to that, but they have still not fully furnished it out. Reason with what is happening is they, if you see in email also, no, we have that section auto create your signature. Correct? They're still following the comment section in that. No handwritten signature. I get your point, that PDF where we can create a signature, but they're still not come up with that. They're still working on it. Still not come up with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Generally, like using the mouse, I can
Agreed.
I can do the e-sign, right? So that piece, I think generally there will be a field called signature field will come up, and the notification, and whoever is approving it, they have the option to sign it, and that will
correct.
be carried in the purchase order document, and it can go to the supplier. So that is one of the requirement we have. So I just thought to check is it
Okay.
feasible or not.
So we have a comment section that you can copy definitely for the this particular requirement. E-sign, with my last project experience, even comment was the only follow. I can follow up on that for you.
Sure,
For
sure.
that, I
Okay,
still
yeah.
need to check if I can. If there's might be recent change, then I have to follow up. But with my past experience, we did not came across that e-signature was coming up. We too had a requirement actually. Definitely, we also had a requirement, but recently I have to check on it that it's feasible or not.
Right now the users, they need to print the document, sign it manually, then they are emailing it.
Correct.
But
That's a long
uh,
process.
yeah, it's a manual process. So or
So
else the another option.
you have a like a ticket also for this support on Oracle support.
No, we haven't implemented cloud yet. We are in the process of implementing cloud, but in
Okay.
11i or R12, that's how we are doing. Like we have the PO output for communication, and we print the purchase order document, and
Correct.
it will be signed manually, and
There's
then
a concurrent program, right? That runs for that.
exactly, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
concurrent program. The moment a
Correct.
purchase order is approved, it will be triggered
Mhm.
based on the layout how we design.
Correct.
But
I can also check it for you. I'll just give me a day. I can get back to you by tomorrow. I'll just
sure.
research for it also. Okay.
Okay, sure. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. So that's it from my guys. I'll buy you 3 minutes for this. So today what we completed is value set, descriptive flex field. Now next we'll come up to lookup. Lookup will not take much time, but there's another interesting topic we'll be starting up. That is the configuration of the business unit. Definitely this was one of the point, but what we'll do is we'll take half session as a practice session tomorrow in the morning where we'll practice it at, like I'll give you some scenario. You need to create a flex field. I have shown it in the screen, but let's start to explore it as well, right? From your work. I can share you this instance credential also. You can try it your home as well directly. But in tomorrow's session, let's explore it more actually. So first 30 minutes, we'll take it as an practical session, which we can call it. We'll be trying to create a flex field. Secondly, we are starting with the business unit in that, because once you create a flex field, you understand the things, okay, this is the one. You can try to navigate also, come up with a thing, okay, if a user clicks on this, what will happen? If a user clicks on it, what will happen? I've shown you the standard process, that how we create a value set and how flex field and the segment gets associated. Next, we'll show you as a context what we can do it, but have a practice of it. And secondly, we'll have a call tomorrow as a 30 minutes practical session in that way, where we'll create. I'll give you the scenario as a client. What we can do is, I took a German client example. I'll prepare. I have with my past training also. What I do is I create 6 to 7 scenarios, customer requirement, right? So I'll publish that sheet with you. Now you have to understand as a checkbox, is that possible with my training? Okay, value set we can do. If not, you can mark there yes, no, independently. For yes, we need to configure, right? So that will be a practice also for you, right? Practice is really important, guys. Until we practice this a lot, the hands-on experience will not come. Okay. So that will be at tomorrow's agenda. It will take 30 to 45 minutes, will not take, because if once you get the navigation and if you're clear with the field, you can ask me in the call itself, okay, Shay, where to go, is there something missing? But I think main for having that 30-minute session is, I'll give you scenarios as a client also. Okay, if a client is coming, XYZ is coming with a scenario, this implement this. So is this possible or not possible? If in that case, what you have in front answers with you. You not have to think and you ask the client, okay, let me look into it, I'll get back to you. Okay, in that case, it will be a fat answer for you. So that is my main agenda of that 30 to 45 minutes call. First 35 to 45 we'll dedicate to that, and then we'll come to the business unit part. Okay, anything else, guys?
I think I'm good. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, sure.
Nothing.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
thanks for, yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot for joining. Thank you.
Thank you.